And there we go. We are live. What is up, everyone? This is the first time I have ever attempted to do something like this. I am streaming live right now to YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn. Now, there's different software packages that charge money to do this, but I thought, yo, I'm not going to pay to do it. I'm going to figure out how to do it on my own. So I found a plugin for OBS. I had to manually configure all the different streaming platforms. But with this plugin, free of charge, I'm paying nothing to do this. I am streaming, I believe, in full HD to all three platforms. Now, before we even dive into anything, I just want to see if everything's working. It's going to be hard for me to monitor all the different chat. That's one of the upsides of the third-party streaming software, because then it pulls all the chat up. But I have enough monitors that I can almost get it all set up. So if I can ask all of you, for those of you on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch, can you let me know if everything looks good and if it sounds good? I'm trying to stream in full HD. So let me know if this is coming through on your end in full HD and I'm able to keep chat. Okay, Nick said YouTube is 100% good. Fantastic. Neil said how many monitors? Just 3 of them. And over on LinkedIn, I got some like hands up. So I'm assuming LinkedIn is good as well. Let me jump over to Twitch. Actually, I have the Twitch chat on the screen. So if you want your chat to show up on the screen, if you join me on Twitch, you will see everything. But okay, cool. Wow, this is exciting, guys. So yesterday I experimented with just streaming to YouTube because YouTube is my main platform. And I thought, hey, if I can stream to YouTube and Twitch, that would be cool. And I thought, you know, I've seen people go live on LinkedIn. I don't really know how to do it, but maybe, just maybe, I can stream to YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch using only OBS and not have to pay any monthly charge to third-party software, and boom, here we are. So in the future, as long as this works okay, when I stream, I will plan on streaming to all 3 platforms. And for this evening, I don't know how long I'll be on. Might not be long as I usually am when I stream. I mainly wanted to do some experimenting, but kind of a few things. We are going to dive into a HackTheBox machine. I'm just going to pick a random HackTheBox machine. Now, for those of you who have been on my stream in the past, here's how I approach things. The way I do it is probably different than some other content creators. A lot of people, and nothing wrong with this, but a lot of people, they will go through a machine fully ahead of time, and then once they've gone through the machine, they will make a video saying, hey, here are the steps I use to exploit it. My only problem with that technique is, at least when I was learning, I really struggled with imposter syndrome when I watched someone solve a box in like 15 minutes and I'm on like hour 5 and I don't even have initial access. And like they show me the steps they take, but I'm thinking to myself, how the heck did you come to those conclusions? So when I stream, when I make content, I literally just dive into it, black box approach, share my methodology, share my frustrations, share me even when I rage quit at a machine because I get mad like I did last night. Like all of it is open, vulnerable, honest, hopefully to help you feel a little better that all of us make silly mistakes. Just few of us are brave enough to make those silly mistakes live on stream with a bunch of people watching. So that is how I make content. That's how I dive into stuff. But I'll also say, if anyone has questions about career stuff or anything I even talked about Simply CyberCon, we can even do Q&A as I hack stuff together. So if you do have questions, let me know and I will do my best to see them. If I don't get to your chat right away, I apologize. I shared before, because I'm doing this manually myself and not paying software, I have 3 different areas of chat I need to keep my eye on. So there's always a chance I miss your message. Just spam it again and I'll do my best to get to it. But without any further ado, what I need to do now is, let me actually get my OneNote pulled up and then I'll share my screen and we will dive into things. I'm actually gonna get logged in real quick to HackTheBox and then I'll share my screen. So hold tight, my friends, but I am really happy this worked. It didn't even take me that long to set up. I just did some research to figure out how this might work and expected it to be buggy or to not to be in HD or to have like my audio and video out of sync, but I don't have a good way to monitor it, so I'm just taking all of your guys' word for it that it's good. Okay. I am just about logged in. It's loading. Beautiful. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Hopefully you guys can see everything. It looks good. Hopefully you can read the text. Sound is good on Twitch. Perfect. Are you doing broker by any chance? You know, that is the one I was looking at. Just before I went on stream, I went to Retire Machines, looked at the most recent one, and that was broker. I don't know anything about it, but I think they released it and then it was retired right away. So yeah, let's do broker. I just did Codify today, or actually yesterday, and then finish it up this evening. Codify is a really fun machine. If you haven't done it, go do it. I can't obviously do it on stream because it's an active machine, and I cannot stream active HackTheBox machines. But yeah, broker. So if we look at broker, it's free. So hey, you guys can follow along with me. So I have a VIP sub, but even if you don't have a VIP sub, from what I can see, you're able to do broker. So go to app.hackthebox.com and go to broker, and we can do this together. I think I need to probably download a new VPN because it's been a while since I've done it on this particular VM that I'm on. We'll do machines, open VPN, download. Okay, cool. All the comments from the stream is saying everything looks good. So thank you, everyone. The VPN server is currently unavailable. Oh, stop your active machine. I have an active machine. Oh, do I have, I bet my one machine is active. Hold up. Let me go ahead and turn that off. I must have never disconnected from Codify. Okay, here's Codify, stop machine. There we go. We'll give that a second to stop. Oh, and look, it even has guided mode. Okay, beautiful. If you guys haven't seen guided mode, it's kind of like, it makes HackTheBox a lot more approachable. It makes it feel more like a Try Hack Me, where it guides you through the process. If we get stuck, here's how we're going to do it. First, we're going to start in adventure mode with it, which is the classic HackTheBox mode. So we'll start in adventure mode. If we get stuck, we will switch over to a guided mode and see if we can get some hints through guided mode, but not, you know, full giveaways of what's going on. And then if we're still stuck at guided mode, we will look at a walkthrough. And I think this is important, guys. Looking at walkthroughs does not mean you are losing. I'll just call this lab 2. Does not mean you lost or you did it wrong. I think 0xDF and IPSec came out with a really good blog post on how to use walkthroughs, so would encourage you to check that out. But let's go ahead and spawn our machine. While we do that, we'll get connected to it. I am changing it up, guys. Usually I use Kali Linux, but every once in a while, I like to switch it up and use Parrot. So we are going to use Parrot just for the fun of it. I am going to change, whoops, I did not mean to do that. I want to change the transparency. Is there preferences? Yeah, profile preferences maybe. Is it background, transparency? We'll make it a little bit transparent, but that was too transparent for me. There we go. If I get my hands on my home row keys on my keyboard, that'd be a good starting point. Okay. Should be good there. We'll open this up. I like to just keep this labeled. Let's call this VPN. And like I said before, I don't usually use Parrot. So if I get frustrated, there's a chance I'm going to switch over to Kali, like if something doesn't work for me. Not because Parrot's bad, but once again, I'm just used to Kali, but I do like to change things up for us. So let's go ahead and, do I have a HackTheBox folder? I do. So make directory for broker. All right, so here we are in broker, and I'm also going to get, well, we'll start our scans and all that good stuff. Why is my, okay, I don't know why my terminal changes based on the last command I ran. I must have done something weird to my Parrot. Hold up. Did I do something weird to like bash RC? There's nothing there. That's weird. I haven't seen that before. I must have done something strange to it. Oh, well, we're just going to run with it. Who cares? So apparently all my last commands are going to show up there. That's awesome. You know what? I can already foresee some issues happening. We're going to pause. Hold up, guys. I wanted to use Parrot, but I can already tell there's something weird going on. I don't think it's Parrot's fault. I think when I was playing around with Parrot, I did something odd. So because Kali is my trusted VM, I'm going to go ahead and pop that up. I do have to probably lower the resources. Yeah, trying to run OBS and all that stuff on this computer. I think I only have 16 gigs of RAM, not 32 like on my work computer. So let's get this booted up. In the meantime, let me check the chat. Everything good? Everything good, y'all? Y'all in chat? I'll answer some questions I see coming through in the chat. Neil Davidson said, is a Linux familiarity a must-have to reach higher levels of security and pen test? Absolutely it is. Trying to think of any instance you wouldn't really be using Linux, but really you do most of the time. I will say like web app pen testing, you can do a lot of it from Windows because you're just using Burp Suite. At least I am. But even then, like a lot of the tools are made for Linux. So yeah, I would encourage you. Linux familiarity is a must for pen testing and security. There's just so many things that run a lot better on Linux because the tools are made for that. Okay. Back to here. Let's see if I can get logged in. Oh, I'm on that. Let's do this. What up, Oreo Bite? Am I going to be logged in or is it going to make me re-authenticate? All right, 1 second, guys. All right, we're almost there. I feel like this is deja vu because I just did this a few minutes ago, but that is the beauty of live streams. There we go. Okay, now if we go to machines, and we'll go to retired machines, and we will go, let's sort by release date because I think broker is the most recently retired machine. There's broker. Has the guided mode, all that good stuff. I don't know if my current VPN is connected to this properly. Let's give it a shot. Let's just try the most recent one. Maybe this one will work. Oh no, did I break it by connecting to the other machine and not fully disconnecting? Let's see if this will let me connect. May have broke it right before I jumped on stream. Hey, that's a good sign. All right, we're in business, ladies and gentlemen. HackTheBox, make directory called broker. Okay, now if we go to here, let's go ahead and grab our IP and we'll add it to Etsy host just to make our lives a little bit easier. Broker.hackthebox. See if we can ping it, and we can. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is an in-map scan, but we're going to scan all the ports. And the reason we do that is on CTFs or in the real world, some companies believe in obscurity or security through obscurity, and they'll put something on some uncommon port and you'll miss it. So we'll start out by doing in-map -p-. That means to scan all the ports. We'll do broker.hackthebox T5 just to speed up a little bit. Of course, in like a red team engagement, you wouldn't do that because it's noisy, but hey, we're just doing a CTF, and -V for verbose mode. Overgrown Carrot said, how's everything doing? What's up? Getting over being sick. Dude, I'm right there with you, bro. I was sick for like 2 weeks. Not like super sick, but had a cold. And so I couldn't stream because if I would stream, I would be sniffling and all that good stuff. So there we go. We have some weird uncommon port right there. And what I'll do just to speed it up is I'm going to name this tab, we'll just call it InMap Full. And then we will do a separate one, HackTheBox, broker, and we're just going to scan the current ports that we see open, which I see 22, 80, And what was that one? 45229, 45229. Dash A means throw all the enumeration scripts at it. Broker.hackthebox dash V. Once we get that done, we'll be able to get our notes going. And in the meantime, we can get our notes set up. We can close that. Oh yeah, I was trying to do Bandit on Try Hack Me, and I don't know what was happening. It just didn't work for me, but that was when it was first released. I might have to go back to that as well, and maybe we can stream it. We're having trouble syncing, yeah, because WGU doesn't like me, and they shut off my email or something. Broker, HackTheBox, get that note set up initially. And maybe this is nothing. We might have to slow down our scan in order to see what that might be, but in the meantime, we'll just call it unknown, and we'll begin to enumerate the other ports that we see open. So let's go ahead and spend a little bit of time getting our notes set up here. I like to separate these out just so it's easier to read. We'll grab SSH down here, and we will do, I've been using Cherry Tree because on my work computer, I dropped Windows completely and I'm using straight Ubuntu. And so now I'm not even fully used to, OneNote, which is like my note-taking thing of choice. I'm really enjoying Cherry Tree, and I might switch over to it fully. Like even things like this, I can do a lot faster with some of the keyboard shortcuts in Cherry Tree. But it's less important what note-taking software you use, and more important that you take notes. And what we're going to do is we enumerate these different services. I'll keep all my notes on that service, on that page. Now, I thought, can I do this? No, it doesn't work. So I'm trying to do Cherry Tree shortcuts, and it's not working for me. We'll do unknown. And our unknown is 45229. Just like that, we'll make that a subpage, so then it all collapses together and all looks nice and pretty. So if we go through these services one by one, let me just check Mmap. Oh, we have another port here. Let me go ahead and add that port to our scan. 8161-A. If I could type broker.hackthebox-V. Anything else? Oh, 61613. So there might be some other ports being thrown in here. I might just let this do its thing, and we'll begin enumerating HTTP. I'm guessing HTTP might be our initial way in. Oh, that looks interesting, actually. Let me grab that. Another type of HTTP port, so we'll call that HTTP as well. 8161. Okay. I'm sure it might discover some other ports like these 616 ports. We'll just come back to this. We'll let it do its thing. In the meantime, let's begin doing some of our basic enumeration. What I like to do is make a checklist for myself. You can actually build this into templates. Once again, a lot easier to do in Cherry Tree than in OneNote. I think you can still do it in OneNote though. And I like to make, hey, what is our to-do list? And the first thing I always look up is up here. ActiveMQ, I believe, is a service that might be known to have vulnerabilities. So let me just research ActiveMQ. We'll add that. And we'll do like GoBuster dir. We'll do GoBuster vhost. We can do Nicto, although that's probably not going to be super helpful to us. We'll browse the website, although it looks like it's unauthorized, so it might be like basic HTTP authentication, so we may not get anything. We'll check things like robots.txt, check source code. The reason I like to make a to-do list on when I'm enumerating before I do it, and this will be really helpful, I think, for those of you who are actively studying for the OICP. The OICP, for example, is, of course, notorious for the way they throw you into rabbit holes. And when I did the OICP, I passed it on my first attempt, thankfully, but one of the things I was very aware of is those rabbit holes. So every time I came across a service, before I even started enumerating it on the exam, I made a to-do list so that, let's say, mental fatigue kicks in and I'm researching this, I fall down some strange rabbit hole, I would always give myself a 45-minute window, and if I am not anywhere after 45 minutes, then I will jump over to that next thing on my to-do list, just to keep my mind straight. Make the to-do list while you're not struggling with mental fatigue, and life will go easier for you when you fall into those rabbit holes. So there's my little piece of advice for those of you who are studying for the OSCP. That was personally helpful for me. So that's the reason I am making our to-do list. We're going to start some of these scans and then we'll start researching. So let's start with GoBuster, and we'll do GoBuster dir u broker.hackthebox, our word list. We'll use the classic directory list 2.3 medium. Okay, so it says, to continue, please exclude the status code or the length. We'll do exclude length 483, and I'm getting that from that right there. Oh, and that's still not going to work. 4. So we might have to exclude GoBuster. So GoBuster dir h. I'm trying to remember how to exclude the actual code. Status code's blacklist. Okay, that's what we want to do. And so our status code is 401. So we'll do status code. I think you can do B shorthand. I might be wrong. There we go. Beautiful. GoBuster dir, and we'll do it for vhost as well. GoBuster vhost u broker.hackthebox -w user share word list dirbuster. We'll use the same word list, directory list 2.3 medium.txt. Make sure we're not missing any vhosts, and we'll call that GoBuster vhost. My VM is lagging. It could be me trying to do all this streaming for my one computer and hack stuff. We'll see how it goes though. I might have to mess around with some of my resources. I have a feeling once I open like Cato and stuff, it's just going to crash on me, but let's see what happens. That's part of the fun. Here our scans are done. Okay, we'll come back to this. In the meantime, ooh, this goes with, I think this. Just so I don't accidentally close this, I want to grab all these real quick, and we will drop it in our notes up here, because we'll come back to many of those services, I'm sure, as we work our way through this. I'm thinking these ports in particular, I think, have something to do with ActiveMQ, but I could be wrong. So while we're doing this, the first thing on our to-do list, besides our scans, is to research ActiveMQ. So let's go ahead and do that, shall we? So what is it exactly? It's an open source message broker written in Java together with the full Java messaging service client. It provides enterprise feature, which in this case means fostering the communication from more than one client or server. Okay. Tell me if there's exploits for it though. Ooh, okay. So a recent exploit, which if this is the way forward, it would make sense if it was like a free, easy machine they released, maybe to draw attention to this. So beginning Friday, they suspected exploitation of this. Whoops, I did not try to copy all of that. I want to go ahead and copy this and drop it in our notes. So if we go over to here, we'll just do this. The ActiveMQ research. We have that as a possible vulnerability. In both instances, the adversary attempted to deploy ransomware binaries on target systems in an effort to ransom the victim organizations. Based on the ransom note and available evidence, we attribute the activity to Hello Kitty ransomware family, whose source code was leaked on a forum. So it's a remote code execution vulnerability. Is it authenticated or no? An Apache ActiveMQ that allows remote attacker with network access to a broker to run arbitrary shell commands by manipulating serialized class types, which makes sense with Java, and the OpenWire protocol that cause the broker to instantiate any class on the class path. This is one of the more convoluted vulnerability descriptions we've seen, but the root cause is insecure deserialization. Why so serial? Apache disclosed the vulnerability and released new versions of ActiveMQ on October 25th, 2023. Sorry, I was checking Twitch chat. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, no, I'm not. Just good chat over there. POC exploit code and vulnerability details are both publicly available. Rapid7, is it in Metasploit? Let's check. Okay, so that's probably not going to find anything. We can stop that. GoBuster isn't finding anything either. I bet this ActiveMQ thing is going to be the way forward. Is it, what's the command update just Metasploit? I don't honestly even remember. Let's just first check. But no, we need to update it. I haven't updated Metasploit, and this is from whenever. Update Metasploit. It's like MSF update or something. In the chat, if you guys know it, let me know. Otherwise, I'll find out on my own. MSF update. Okay, that's what I thought. I was just doing it slightly wrong. Oh. Oh no, that's going to take too long on stream to do. I haven't updated this thing for a while. We're going to have to exploit it manually then. I bet it's available in Metasploit. Can I just try this? But if I try to do that on stream, we're all going to spend however long just looking at my screen. All right, screw it. Let's just look ourselves. Maybe it'd be helpful for us to learn how to do it on our own. Oh, English version. Okay, that's what I was looking for. All right, ActiveMQ RCE exploit written in Go. Some detailed analysis reports. Refer to the official documentation in Wireshark for simple analysis. A simple ActiveMQ packet is shown below. Yeah, it makes total sense. I can definitely read that. Hope you guys can read that as well. We can divide it into two parts, a header and a body. Command, not null. So, oh, with this tool, we just pass it the server IP or host, the port of the ActiveMQ server, and the Spring XML URL. If you just want to check whether there's a vulnerability, you can change the Spring URL to the DNS address. So what is it right now? If we look at, what's this doing? Oh, it's trying to open calculator. But we can change it. I think this is a Linux system we are pen testing, right? Anyone know? OreoBite said, I wrote a bash script for this using URL. Me thinking I was so cool, wherever the script is. Dude, send it over. So if you wrote this and you did this machine, I must be on the right path. What up, Sean on LinkedIn? Good to have you here, my friend. First time I've streamed to LinkedIn. I'm streaming, for those of you just joining, we are on LinkedIn, Twitch, and YouTube all at the same time. I don't know how to see how many people are watching on LinkedIn. Maybe if I go... nope, that doesn't tell me. I don't know how many people are watching. How many people we got on Twitch? We got like 20 people on Twitch. That's awesome. What do we have on YouTube? On YouTube we have... I'm curious which one of these platforms gets the most viewers. And about 15 people on YouTube. So right now, this is more viewers than usual, but that's probably just because I'm connected to so many different platforms. And guys, I know there's also probably a little bit of a delay between when I'm talking and when you guys are talking. So once again, if I'm talking and you say something, I don't see it right away. That's why. I'm Sean on LinkedIn. I switched to Twitch because it's prettier. Yeah, dude, I agree. Twitch is prettier. Twitch is the OG platform. What am I doing? Why am I in challenges? This is the difficulty, guys, of streaming. Like, hacking in and of itself is already hard. And when you're not, like, live streaming something you've already done, you're trying to learn it as you go and think through it. And I'm trying to watch the chat in order to talk to you guys while I do this. The struggle is real. It's a lot more difficult than it looks. Those of you who have streamed in the past, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, it is Linux. That's the only question I was looking for, and I think I already knew that from my notes, that we are running Linux. And so if we go back to wherever this tool is here, We'll go ahead and copy that. Okay, I'm curious, guys. This exploit, this new exploit, I bet it's in Metasploit, the most recent version of Metasploit, but I'm not going to take the time to update this on stream. I bet it is, but it's not going to be in my version of Metasploit because I haven't updated mine for a while. But who cares? Manual's always cooler, right? Okay. Make sure we understand what we're doing. Let's go back to the English version. And is it just like... That's all I have to do, right? In order to build it. Do I need to specify? I'm looking at my other screen real quick. From the command line. And okay, that's what I thought I had to do. Did I do it right? Oh, beautiful. Okay. So I don't actually know the server. I don't know the ActiveMQ server port. Default is 6161. Do we have that? Oh, we do. Okay. So that might be what that is. So our IP, can I do broker.hackthebox port 61616 and let's just pass it that. Okay, so I didn't do anything that would have given me a response, but I was just curious if this would work or if I get any type of errors. So if I do something that's not a valid IP, like invalid memory address. Okay, so if it's invalid, it's gonna fail. So I'm guessing this is the way forward. Let me go ahead. Come on, Lightshot, I believe in you. Are you open now, Lightshot? There we go. Let's go ahead and grab a screenshot of this just for our notes because I think this is gonna be the way forward. We'll Control-C that. We'll go to our notes. We'll go to, I don't even know what to call this. Technically I was doing it here, but it's on that other port. But we'll just do that. I think that's going to be the way in. And now, if we nano that proof of concept, right now it's trying to do this calculator stuff. We can remove this entirely because we know we are on Linux. So let's just take these fields out. And I want to see if I can just, before I do anything crazy, a broker, I want to see if I can get some like SSRF technically, just some proof of concept that we have code execution. And the way I'm going to do that is we'll just open up port 1337 on here because we are elite hackers. And I want to do something like, okay. Oh no, that didn't work. Okay, bash -c, so it would be command. Maybe it would just be wget. Missing URL is what you get if you do it that way. That's the way you would do it though. So what if I take out the bash.c completely? Check out Twitch, make sure I'm not missing anything. What version of ActiveMQ? I don't even know, but the fact that this exploit's so new and the HackTheBox machine came out around the same time. I have a feeling this is the exploit we're looking at, but I haven't even actually enumerated ActiveMQ. It was just in the HTTP headers on port 80, so I put it down as, hey, this is something I should check out, and then I stumbled across this. Could be a rabbit hole, but I don't think so. I think this is probably going to be the way in. I'm thinking if I do, because what the command is doing is this, and it's trying to do like touch temp test, but that seems to mess that up. Can I just do wget in there? No. Okay, maybe I need to understand this exploit better or do better enumeration on what we are doing. If you just want to detect whether there's a vulnerability, you can change the Spring XML URL to the DNS log address. Let's read about this exploit just a little bit more. First, I want to know if it's in Metasploit, because I bet it freaking is in Metasploit. Oh, maybe not. This exploit builds upon the foundational work available there. We have further developed a technique to achieve a reverse shell using the Metasploit framework. Well, that's what I want to do. Oh, you know, I was thinking, guys, if we can find, if it is in Metasploit, we could just manually add the plugin too. Okay, so for Linux targets, we are git cloning this. We're CDing into that. We are generating a Meterpreter listener, not Meterpreter, just standard listener with MSF Venom. Opening up our server and then doing that. I mean, shoot, all right. Looks good to me. So let's do this. No, don't do that. And then we're just making an MSF Venom, and we're going to open up a notepad so we get all the syntax right. Make sure I'm not missing anything on chat. Once again, guys, if I miss something on chat, just repeat it. No, looks like I'm good. Sweet. Okay, I'll make it big so you guys can see it. So MSF Venom, if you haven't used it, this is how we can create different payloads. ELF is like a Linux executable, kind of like a Linux version of a exe binary if you're thinking of Windows. lhost is going to be the host that we want it to reach back to, which is going to be us. lport is going to be our listening port, and we're elite, so it's always going to be 1337 because blue team would never guess. That's what it's called. We'll also call it shell 1337 because obviously the blue team wouldn't know that shell 1337 is a reverse shell to port 1337. They would never be able to guess that. Once we do that, we're going to open that up. Do I need to do server 80? Oh, we're hosting it. Oh, I see. Oh, oh, that's what I was doing wrong, guys. It's kind of like it reminds me of XXE attack where you're hosting the payload. First you do a command, the server reaches out, downloads it, executes it. It's almost like an XXE attack the way the payload's working. We have to host the XML file. Obviously, how else would it grab the XML file? That makes sense. So we're going to host that XML file. We can do 8001. What's our POC though? The command below downloads the file and saves it as test.elf. Oh, but it's trying to get test.elf. Okay, let's go ahead and just rename ours then. So it's doing something like what I tried to do before, but we're doing sh-z and then we're -z-c if I could learn the alphabet. We're curling, downloading it, making it executable, and then attempting to execute it in order to get a shell. That makes sense. So okay, that's cool. I must have actually made 2 of them. We have our shell listening there. And then the syntax should be similar. I target U IP 8001 affirmative. Make sure this is working. Okay. No, me doing broker, I wonder if that's breaking it as well. I'm just going to do the actual IP. Active-I 10.10.11.243. And then we need our port, which I believe is 61616, like the default is true. And then -u is going to be us, which is 10.10.14.6, port 8001, test.elf. Fingers crossed. Okay, so we at least got a hit. That's the IP of our target machine. So it worked. We have confirmed RCE here. I don't have a shell. But we have confirmed RCE. So that's a good thing to note. I'm actually going to go ahead and literally like note that. Let's grab this. Put that there, and then the command that led to it. It's this right here. Okay. So if we look at our notes, we at least have that recorded. We have confirmed RCE with this command. And actually, once again, for our note's sake, let's copy this in there as well. Let's copy that much. And because I don't know a good way to do code blocks in OneNote, that'll be my ghetto code block. So we know for sure this worked up to the point of downloading test.elf from our machine. The 8001, because we got that hit. It downloaded test.elf. What we don't know is whether or not this worked. And it could be, I don't know where it's executing to. Maybe it's trying to save it at a spot where it doesn't have, where it can't save it. But if we have full code execution here, can't we do just like a netcat shell? You guys know what I'm saying? If we copy this, and I'm going to do like nano PLC Linux 2.xml. Wait. Feel like my XML, what? I did the wrong thing here. That's the issue. Hold up. Hold up. I needed to do the XML here, not the freaking ELF file. But this did download from that machine. So it executed that command, but it didn't take the other file. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. I misread the POC. I think that's how it actually needs to be. Let me make sure. No, we're just going to call this netcat 1337, and we're going to call this web server. Okay, so then we download that. No, that doesn't make sense. Hold up. ActiveMQ target IP, and they don't have the port, but I'd assume they meant to include the port there. U, IP of hosted XML file, and POC linux.xml. The XML file should cause the machine to then download our test.elf and execute it. But it's not. It's downloading the POC, which is fine. So it's downloading this, right? Same IP, am I correct? Yeah, so our target IP is downloading this, but it's not then executing this. Because then it should... This might be our issue. Well, I don't know. I need to update it there. Let me update it here. Maybe I should put in my actual IP here. Don't you guys think that might be a good idea? Okay, one more time. Oh, look. You guys see that? It grabbed our XML file, then it grabbed this. We have a shell. Ladies and gentlemen, tell you what, I need to slow down and read what I'm doing rather than just rushing through it. And that was my issue. But we have a shell, so let's go ahead and document. Before we get too excited and move on, let's document exactly what we did. So we'll go down here. Oops. All caps, obviously. And the way we did this, so if we cat our POC, let's grab this. This is the correct POC, not copy link, copy selection. This is the POC for the XML file. There we go. And then the commands, jeez, that was bright. The commands that we ran is we, of course, had our netcat listener. We don't have to include that because I think that's obvious that that's what we did, but we'll at least copy this full selection. And when I'm doing, when I have a shell and I'm copying my notes on how I got the shell, rather than taking screenshots, I just try to do a code block like in Cherry Tree. Rather than taking screenshots, I like to include the actual text so that if we do lose access or something goes wrong with our shell, we don't have to re-figure out how we did it. We can just copy and paste our commands and we're going to be back onto the machine. But here we are on the machine. Let's go ahead and stabilize our shell. Not fully stabilized, but I'm going to do a fake stabilizing of my shell. Should be enough to get the job done. And there's our user.text flag. Some people are like, Tyler, why do you share the flags? Because I freaking live stream and I'm not going to try to edit it like while I'm live. So if that offends you, just get over it. Like, it's just a flag for a retired machine. But I tell you guys what, I've had legit people be mad at me because of that before, but y'all can get over it. Reckless said I put a reverse shell directly in the XML file. Nice. Gusto Volso said 0.0.0.0. Yeah, you noticed that before I did. That's the thing, guys. With live streaming, there's silly things like that that I don't notice when I'm live streaming, but I notice when I'm offline. When I'm live, like, I'll eventually catch it, but it does take me a lot longer when I'm trying to stream and balance all this stuff. Let's go to our HackTheBox machine and drop in our flag. All right. Now we'll do some basic enumeration. We'll see if we can figure out where we're at, and we're going to rename this shell. We'll leave our other stuff open in case we end up needing it. Oh, wow. So we should just be able to use Nginx to GTFO bins ourselves out of here. No? I'm pretty sure we can abuse that. So I was just trying to bind there. So if we can run Nginx as root, though, or Nginx, I'm probably driving you guys crazy when I call it Nginx. I know it's pronounced Nginx. So once again, don't make fun of me for it. I'm calling it Nginx just to make someone out there angry. Nginx sudo privesc, like being able to run that, we should be able to elevate our privileges. I'm just not entirely sure how. This is an old one. I don't think this is going to be the way in. Oh, this is elevating to the Nginx root user. What can that command do? Like if we do sudo user spin nginx-a. Okay, so we can show version of configure options, test configuration, dump it, suppress non-error messages, send signal to master process, set prefix path, set configuration file. Can we modify the configuration file? Maybe like upload a shell, modify the configuration file, and then get root. Like if we make it, yeah, that works in my head. Let me just check this out. So if we look at the Nginx configuration file, what do we have here? So it's running as user www.data. Can we change that to running as root? And then can we just put a shell in the folder? I feel like it might fail. It might say like, hey, this is an insecure way of doing this, so it may not work. But hey, let's just copy properly. Oh my goodness. There we go. And rather than trying to do it in my crappy shell we have here, what we are going to do, I already have a web server set up here, and so we'll just call this just nginx.config. Okay. wget 10.10.14.6 Okay, we have it there. And now if we go back to sudo user sben nginx-h, we can set the configuration file. Oh, 1 second. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. User sben nginx-c home ActiveMQ nginx.conf. But it could not bind. So does that mean it's not actually working properly? I never actually went to that port, did I? I just tried to admin for fun, and that worked. So this is the actual broker here. I didn't even enumerate this. I just jumped straight to pwning it. So yeah, you're right. Nginx can't run on port 80 because this. Can we just change the port? That's mail. So that's a mail, that's not HTTP. Let's look at this again. We can set global directives out of configuration file. We can set a configuration file. We can set a prefix path. Send signal to master process. Test configuration and exit. Let's just do that. The configuration file there is okay. Oh, it didn't even update the configuration for us. Maybe we can't do that. Maybe sudo just allows us to run nginx. And that configuration file is only writable by root. So we can't modify the configuration file itself. Let's do some more research on this. I don't even know what to Google. Let's check out some of these things. I was thinking this would be as easy as jumping in GTFO bins, like, oh, here's like the command you run and you become root. Like this stuff doesn't really quite apply to what we are trying to do. Like we have access to the machine and we can run nginx as root. We have to be able to abuse that somehow. What's this do? And we don't want to do that. We already can run it as root. Who's on here? So we are the only user outside of that. Well, let's do this so we have a better shell. No, I don't want to install it. Okay, cool. Now we have SSH access at least. Little more secure way of doing it in case we lose connection. Okay. So my first question is, why did it not update the configuration when I asked it to? It's not updating the configuration file. Is it not updating because, like, the connection itself is failing? -c, set configuration file. Defaults that. Let me know if you guys have any ideas. The 2016 TV is still viable inside a lot of networks. Not a lot of them expose the internet, but inside networks I see it quite often. Sure. See if you have permissions to move your config to etc -nginx. Permission denied. That looked promising for a second. Listen 3200 default server. Do we have to stop Nginx first and then update the start? Good question. Always forget the full path. Sudo, it's user span nginx. Let's try to send a signal, I guess, to reload. Okay. That seemed to actually take it. So we can run any of these commands as sudo because it seemed like it successfully reloaded it. But it's not updating the configuration file. I feel like if we can update the configuration file, there's a lot of ways that we could approach privilege escalation on here. How do I update the port for Nginx? Let's find out. So that's the configuration file we need to modify. But it won't even switch over to that. That's where it's like, that's where I'm a little bit confused. All right. nginx.conf reverse shell. Let's just try that. Not a reverse proxy. What's Twitch saying? What's LinkedIn saying? What's YouTube saying? All right, if it will use AD and 443 if not specified in the config, I think your config is loading. Okay, you think it is? All right, so if we let me go back to that. So we do this. We should just be able to add that to the config then, and then we'll know if it's working or not. Let's try it. That's all we need to do. I don't think it matters that I'm in the mail thing, because everything else is commented out. So if I just change server listen, oh, close my bracket. Good call. Thank you, AC Cowboy. Home ActiveMQ. The server directive is not allowed here. You shut your mouth, bro. I'll decide. I'll decide what's allowed there. Don't tell me what's not allowed there. Do I need to do it elsewhere? Maybe that does matter where I did it at. So you're right. It is actually reading this, because we know that because it read that. So do I just need to do it up here? I don't think that's going to work. Where the frick does the listen directive go? Server. Let me just copy an Nginx config. Cat out the... I can't see your message because of freaking YouTube. Cat out the one in Etsy. Don't know if I know what you're talking about. But it's probably just because I'm missing something obvious as usual. Cat out which one in Etsy? I'm going to figure this out, guys. Just for fun, let's just literally replace it with this. Okay. Well, it is for sure reading our configuration. I'm just not quite sure how to change the port because I'm clearly dumb. So, you know, when you are confused, there's no better person to ask than ChatGPT. Don't you guys agree? And we'll do it through Cato. Sure, we'll do THM. Let's see if ChatGPT can do it for us. Sure. You just need to add a semicolon. No way. No, what changes did you make, bruh? Oh. Oh my goodness, I am dumb. Okay, if that's really all it is, I'm gonna laugh. Oh, who deleted my files? When you guys on this machine messing with me, just delete my stuff for fun? It's not very nice. What changes you make, dog? I apologize. The list and directory should be placed within a server block. Yeah. Yeah, dude, you're probably right. We finna just copy this. Nginx.conf. No, it still doesn't work. It still doesn't work, ChatGPT. What are you doing with your life? Freaking useless robot. Might be worth commenting out those include lines. Okay. So you're talking about these right here. I'll do that next. What changes you make? Hold up, where's he putting this at? We have events, we have HTTP. He's putting it right there. Okay, let's try this first. User sbin nginx-c home active nginx.conf. Oh, I must have copied something wrong. Let's figure out what that is. Are you sure this one is supposed to work in the first place? Nope, no idea, dude. That's the joy. I could be in a complete rabbit hole. I don't know if this is the way you're supposed to do the machine. That's the fun of live streaming it. Apparently it doesn't like that. So let's comment those out. We have nothing to lose. And then if that doesn't work, I bet there's might be multiple ways to do this. Like, I just feel like if I can successfully update this, we could get like a shell. Oh! Maybe they just automatically test those. Okay. Yeah, the recent ActiveMQ was the shell. Okay, guys. You were right. AZ Cowboy 1, you're the real MVP, my friend. You are the true ChatGPT. So from here, there should be a variety of ways, I'd assume, that we can do this. Like, what if we look at our nginx.config, where are we getting the files from? var www html. So can I just put a shell there? Just out of curiosity. Oh, I can't touch that. I think I can just write a shell into here. Would that work, guys? Oh yeah, I can change the directory, you're right. So let's just do that. Let's reload this. Okay, look at that. So I was able to write to the index. So we have that. Now, Nginx is just like, it's PHP, right? I don't know if PHP is like installed properly for this Nginx. Let's go to the classic one. Will this work? I don't know. Do 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 do. Ten dot 10.14.6. Honestly, I'll just keep it 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have to, right now the config is probably stopping it from executing PHP, because that would be the default setting. Oh, that's all I need, cowboy? I can just drop a shell straight in there? Okay, let's try both ways. Your way is a lot simpler, but I'm also curious if this works. So let's just do your way, because that's going to be a lot easier. I'd assume I can just include that at the bottom. Yeah, I need a processor on the right track. Yeah, I think. That's what I was thinking on the other way. But yeah, you're right. I'm pretty sure this will work because I've seen this in other machines. As long as my syntax is correct there. What was it? Restart it. T, reload, or S. Oh no. Is that not, does that not restart it? This like sudden signal to master process. Stop, quit, reopen, reload. Let's just try to update the configuration then again. Can I just do that? So maybe I can't just include it right in there? AZ Cowboy, let me know if you're seeing something I don't see, and otherwise I might have to, I'm going to go back to trying to get like a PHP shell with fast CGI or something to work. Because that makes sense in my head if it has a processor, depending on how it's processing things. Now we do need to remove the includes that were on here. Those two includes. Let's try to copy this. But I'm going to do nano nginx2.conf. So I'd have to I can't give you the whole thing. I got you. All right. I'm literally going to add this myself. We'll find a sample one. I don't think this is going to work, guys. I don't think I have PHP installed. Shoot. It doesn't have internet connection. Okay, no, we're going way outside. There's a much easier way. You can just exploit ActiveMQ. Okay. So you're telling me all this Nginx stuff I've been doing is a waste of my time. Tell me if that's right. Is this this has to have something to do with it, right? But I'm guessing, AZ, you've actually done this machine, so. Let me think for a second. Oh, it is not a waste of time. All these have multiple exploits. Yeah, good point. I mean, you'd have to be able to solve it this way. If we put PHP manually on here, we could technically upload a PHP reverse shell, and because Nginx is running as root, we would get a shell as root, right? We don't want Windows, Linux. This is too much work for an easy machine though. I'm gonna do it an easier way. Let me go back to, let's just see what the frick obvious thing I'm missing. What Nginx directives can be used to define allowed Webdav methods? Oh, I have no idea. So maybe this is what I'm missing. I'm way overthinking it. The dav methods directive being used to define the allowed Webdav methods in Nginx. This directive is valid only within the HTTP server location context. So this would be, so we can already upload our configuration. So can we use these Webdav methods to do it? And just for those of you who haven't seen this, guided mode, this is what it looks like. What HTTP method is used to write files? Guessing put. Which flag is used to set a custom Nginx? Okay, so I was thinking really close to the right thing. So at least the intended path is we are going to enable the dav methods and put a file. I still don't get how that does anything for me. Let me ask a loaded question. Port 616. Sorry, dude. This freaking YouTube chat in OBS cuts off the last word. Is port. Oh, you mean like that port? No, I'd assume it's not. Okay, well first let's go ahead and enable Webdav. So here's an example that allows that. Come on. My machine, look at my machine, guys. Chrome's killing it. Can't do anything. Back to me now? Okay. Peace out, dude. I still don't quite understand. Maybe if I read this, it'll make more sense. So we ourselves can enable Webdav. I want to set the path to dav, a directory commonly used for Webdav, but we can also set that. Our host to our IP address, type run to launch the module. The next thing I want to do is test the permissions and file execution policies. Remember, our ultimate goal is to retain a reverse shell. Dav test is a handy tool. How can you execute commands? Oh, yeah, you can. How do we manually execute a command? Blah, blah. Oh, so when you go to it, it executes. Okay, so we do, if I'm understanding this correct, we do need to edit the Nginx config file like I did so it runs as root. Because then when we get a shell, it will get a shell as root. That was my initial thought, my initial idea. If we enable Webdav, we don't have to do the cadaver stuff because we can actually set the Webdav folder to whatever we want. But if we navigate to it, then it should execute the command, right? Okay, let's go like this. Oh, why does it delete my freaking Nginx thing? There must be a cron job that does that. Gosh dang it. Come on, freaking Kato. Kato sometimes does this crap with long messages. Alright, we'll update the port. So there's that part of it. And our original one that he didn't feel like printing out is this. I'm sure I'm doing this such a slow newbie way, but hey, we're learning. And grab server. That's not how it needs to be. Okay, I guess those all technically match. I'm about to just look at a walkthrough because I think maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it's worth struggling through. Like, I clearly know the way forward. I'm just not quite sure how to actually do it. Freaking A. No, that's not what I want to do. There's a few things I forgot to do. First, I had to take out that include crap. And what did I have? Do I have a hanging thing? No, I don't think so. Is this one a hanging one? The frick? What's going on? Oh, you're expecting that. Oh, hold up. See, guys, this is what happens when I don't read. I think all it wants me to do is go like this. Why is it trying to bind to 80? I thought thought I updated that. You just have to be over more. Maybe the tabbing really does matter, I guess. I think I am going to skim the walkthrough, guys. So I feel like, although there is something to be heard in struggling, I feel like I'm wasting my time. And I'm sure I'm missing just really obvious things that isn't going to truly help me learn when I figure it out. Yeah, I'm missing something obvious. I'm gonna look at it. And let me close this out because I think Chrome is killing my CPU. Okay, I'm actually going to read the whole thing because I want to see if there's anything else I missed, because I didn't really do much enumeration. I found ActiveMQ and immediately got that shell right away. Volves, unsafe, so we kind of understood that a little bit. And that is the exact one I think I used. Yeah. Okay, so I used the exact CVE in the official walkthrough, so that's a plus. Okay, so checking our pseudo privileges reveals we can load our own Nginx configuration file. So I'm gonna count that as a win for myself. I noticed that. I didn't see it in GTFO bins, but I did look at -H for help, and I identified, oh, I can load my own Nginx configuration file. So although I didn't fully pwn it, I'm gonna count that as a win for myself. I'm gonna take my wins. There are a few different approaches one could take at this point, such as the method disclosed here. However, we opt for much. We will use Nginx dav module to write our public SSH key into the root user's authorized keys file. Okay. This is all they're doing? This is all it needs to look like? So we had it half. I'm actually going to stop here. We had it halfway here. So all we're doing is, hey, we want to run as root. I'm going to give, that's another win for me, guys. Chalk that up to the win column. I did change it to root and say, hey, if I can get it to run as root, then whatever I do will run as root. That'll be privilege escalation. So I'm giving myself another one in the win column. Take them when I can get them. And then all it's doing is changing our listen port, which we recognize that. I should say y'all in the chat recognize that. Root and then put, so that we can put files there. And then what they're doing is with Webdav is they're gonna, why can't I not copy this? They're gonna put the SSH key. So I'm actually gonna pause here on the walkthrough. Okay. So now we can use Webdav put. Was it cadaver? Is that the tools I was thinking of? I think I've used Webdav like once on a machine. A similar attack path. But don't remember the things. Dav trust try to upload several files with different extensions. I want to be able to specify the path it's going to. But if we set it as /, like what happens if we just do this? We can close this now. There we go. We have file right. Do you guys see that? Shell.txt is right there. So I want to do that for a POC. I know we have file, right? So if we can run commands right now as root to file write with curl. Can we just put authorized keys in there? So like if I do something like cat I'm root. Look at that, guys. That's what it was. So I would say on my own, I was like, I'm going to give myself 95% of the way there. Once I saw that little thing that I was missing, was very easily able to get root and fully solve that machine. Yo, that machine was a lot of fun. For real. I learned some new stuff there. It wasn't horribly difficult. Look at that cleanup. That's what it's doing. That's where it's deleting my freaking stuff. It's deleting out of temp and ActiveMQ. But there we go. We got root flag. I didn't document all those steps. I might go back and document what I did. But we got it. That's what matters. And guys, a bigger win than that is, first, if I can find HackTheBox. Go to play machine, and also showing guys, this is the way you use a walkthrough. You notice I didn't keep reading. I stopped there once I was no longer stuck. But we are going to go back. I want to read the full walkthrough and see, hey, did they do it the exact same way I did it? What did they do different? But we did pwn the machine. Boom. Broker has been pwned. Congratulations. So if we look at this, they do that, which we had a rough idea, but I was overcomplicating it, thinking I needed like a dav folder and everything, which clearly I did not need. Topmost directory, we enable the put, we save the settings in a file, configure Nginx to use it via the C flag, which we had that figured out. To verify it's active, we can check the open port, which I did that as well. I didn't use SS, I used nets.ano and grep. We have the key pair, I literally just used my public key. So this is how they did it. They curl x put. I was already in the folder, so I just made my authorized keys. -D cat goes through without errors again. Now I did a little bit different, but hey, we did it a similar way and solved the machine. But guys, I'm going to tell you a bigger win than solving this machine is I successfully streamed this entire time to Twitch, to LinkedIn, and YouTube without paying Restream.io whatever money. Like Restream.io is cool, but they only allow you to stream in 720p unless you give them like $50 a month or something. So I accomplished what they offer for $50 a month, but I did it for free. So even more than rooting this machine, I rooted all the third-party streaming software, did it myself with freaking OBS, and now I have my own multi-stream configuration set up. So now when I stream, I can talk to you guys on all these different platforms, and we can work through these machines together. But I'm going to call it a night. We've been on stream for almost 2 hours working our way through this machine. So I hope you all have found this helpful. If you want to catch my other content, my main platform is YouTube, just youtube.com at Tyler Ramsby. If you don't already follow me, if you look at LinkedIn, if you're on YouTube, you already know that. Twitch, follow me on YouTube. That's where most of my content goes, but I stream pretty often, and now when I stream, I will stream on LinkedIn and Twitch and YouTube for all these audiences. And I do just want to check as far as viewership goes. I don't know how to see how many people are watching on Twitch or on LinkedIn. On Twitch, we are at about 20 people, so that remains steady. I'm curious about YouTube. Where's YouTube at on my screen? How are we doing on YouTube? For YouTube, I think we were at 15 people throughout that. Now we're at 8, probably dying down because I'm at the end of my stream. So yeah, that was a fun experiment, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Really do appreciate you taking the time. Special shout out to all you on the chat helping me walk me through this, and hopefully you guys learned something in the process as well. I'm gonna try to stop this well, but I feel like all these streams might be going at different paces. So if I randomly cut off mid-talk, that's why. AZ Cowboy said, when is the next one? So generally I stream every Wednesday around 9 p.m. Central Time for an hour or two. But even more than that, I'll stream depending on what I have going on. So usually Wednesdays for sure, but other times I'll just jump on because I don't have much of a hobby. So this is my hobby. So I'll probably stream again this weekend. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, just follow and you'll see me pop on at least once a week, if not more. And you can catch all my past streams on YouTube. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.